Hello, good evening everyone, good evening. My name is Christine Crowell and welcome to my channel, and today I am talking about gold and silver for retirement and how you can protect your wealth. Whether you're 40, 50, even after 60 for example, I think we need to really start thinking about these things if we haven't done so already, especially with the uncertainty that's happening currently at the moment. So today I'm going to be diving into how you can plan for your retirement. So I'm just going to grab my tea here. Hope everyone is doing well. And have you ever wondered how much gold and silver would it take for you to live on, say, for example, whether you're wanting to live on $2,000 a month, $2,000 a month, or $5,000 a month, for example, you're in the right place. So today I'm going to be showing you a step-by-step of how to build gold and silver over 10 years, starting with an amount of whatever you can really afford, really. But I'm going to do it in this way, $635 a month, for example, even up to saving $800 a month. Whatever it is that you can save a month, then that is what you would do. You can buy silver coins, or silver ounce for $35. Well, actually, at the moment, it is under $35, for example. So what does this give you in a monthly income, for example? This is my personal plan. And also I've got some other friends that are working towards this personal plan as well. So by the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap of what to follow, really. So I hope that you've got your tea here, for example, or coffee, or whatever it is that you want to drink, water. And what I want to talk to you about is why gold and silver is a good option for retirement. So gold is timeless. It's timeless wealth. Silver is explosive growth potential. It hasn't even got out of the horse's box, should I say, ready to bolt. The potential for silver is huge, and we will get to see what that is going to be within this time frame of over the 10-year period, for example. Now, gold protects your money from inflation and currency collapse as well. So silver being used in industry and energy has more upside in a bull market, for example. So both metals are outside the banking system, meaning that they are true freedom money. You're not having to put it in the bank, for example. It's not like you're dealing with cash, currency. You're dealing with a monetary system, yes, but not a currency that can be manipulated, for example. So both metal, like I said, is outside the banking system. And with the uncertainty of the pensions, rising costs of living, for example, gold and silver are like your private, untouchable savings vault. It's you're in control of that, no one else. So here's what I'm going to be discussing with you. Now, for example, if you was to look at a monthly plan, depending on what you can afford. Now, what I'm saying is just what you can afford, but I'm giving you some clear examples here. So say, for example, if you were saving, say, $635 a month, for example, or if you're in the UK, £800 a month, for example. So, like I said, the £800 English pounds is around, say, $635 a month, for example, and or even euros. So over a 10-year period, that brings a total investment of around 76,000. Now, here's what's really gets exciting here. If gold and silver prices stay flat, that stack is still 76,000. But if the prices increase, meaning that they rise, as they historically do during inflation, it could grow to between 123,000, even up to 225,000, for example. And that is in a strong bull market. So imagine, I've just explained a conservative to a moderate amount that you could have saved from the static 76,000, for example. Okay, so I'm going to go further more into this deeply, so I'm just going to drink my tea, so just bear with me. Like I said, this is alive. So I'm going to break this down with you. So now let's talk about monthly income. So if you use metals to stack over a 10-year period, this is how much monthly it could give you, for example. If it was conservative, you're looking at around 600 a month. If it is a moderate amount of the silver and gold, for example, it would be 1,025 a month that you would receive, for example. If it was the bullish amount, which is the highest amount, it could be 1,875 a month that you would receive. So if I was to stretch the stack for another 20 to 25 years, depending really how old you are, because like I mentioned to you, not to you, but in my previous video, for example, I remember I had friends that were in their middle 20s, 30s, for example, early 30s, and they were saving amounts of money. And then after a period of time, say 10 years, they would get like, say, 100,000 back, for example. Now this is very similar to this, for example. But if you imagine if you was to stretch this to 20 to 25 years and withdraw more slowly, it's lower, around 300 to 750 a month, but it lasts longer. Right? So the reason why I mention this is because, you know, you may not want to draw out all of that money because you'll have your state pension, for example, or maybe you would have a private pension, but this gold, silver is like your pension top up, for example, or maybe you want to give it as a gift, for example. So imagine that stretching it and not taking the full amount each month, for example. The choice is up to you what you decide to do with your money. I'm just giving you some examples here because we don't really plan in this way. We always think, yes, we rely on our pension. Yes, we've worked hard and we paid into it, for example. But what happens if we get a shortfall in our pension, for example? What happens, for example, if market crashes, for example, and we don't get the full amount like what we expected to get from our pension, for example? So this is why I'm mentioning this, for us to be aware, because of all of this uncertainty that we're dealing with now. And also the banks and the government organizations, they're buying gold and silver like it's going out of fashion. So you know that this is a safety net that needs to be provided, for example. And just even if you was to save $35 a month. Now, I'm not saying to save hundreds and hundreds if you can't afford to do that. Start off small. Buy 1 ounce of silver a month, for example. $35, and let it stack up, because like I said in my previous videos, I believe silver is like the tortoise and the hare, and I believe that silver is going to outperform gold. Even though gold has gone up, don't get me wrong, I mean gold was 3,000, then it went to, well actually it started off at 2,600, then it went up to 3,000, then 3,100, for example, this week. Now it's at $3,160, for example. Don't get me wrong, gold is still going up. And silver is taking, like I said, it's like the tortoise. You got to be in it for the long haul here. Okay? Because imagine the demand, like I said, for silver is going to far outweigh gold because of the industrial use that is happening, and things are being used more, and there will not be enough supply to meet the demand. And once that happens, then the price goes up naturally for silver, I'm referring to. And the products that are being made through silver, like the electronic vehicles, like the solar panels, for example, like the tech, for example, like the AI, like the chips, the AI chips that are being used, and the robots that are now being implemented that we're seeing on TV and possibly in, places where you work, for example, that takes silver. And the mines, they only have enough so far for 20 years. So, and the stock is depleting. So this is why the banks, the central banks, etc., are, and organizations and family offices, as well as billionaires and millionaires, for example, are ordering physical silver because they know that that is, the tortoise is going to actually win the race. I believe so, due to the fact, because of the supply and the demand. So just be mindful of that. Even if you just buy 1 coin or 1 ounce of silver at $35 per ounce, and after 10, 12 years, you will have a lot of ounces. I'm just going to add this up. Let's get I don't have my normal calculator with me. Maths was never my subject at school. So I'm very grateful that we've got calculators. Just have to find it on my phone. We have too many phones these days, one for work, one for personal use, and one for, there we go. So, if we do, say, 10 years, right, so we buy 12 ounces a year, for example, times that by 35, I'm just going by currently at the moment just under $35, but I'm going to say $35. That makes that you spend $420 a year for silver, for example, times that by 10. That gives you 4,200, for example. So that is what the equation is as it is now, but in 10 years time from now is going to be more, for example. So that investment that you've made will, if you imagine, so if we do say 12 times 10, that's 120, for example, okay, 120, and then we times that by 800. So if we say by then that silver is 800 per ounce, for example, then that would give you $96,000, for example. I'm just using that as an example for you to understand where I'm coming from. 96,000. So that is the, just make sure that this is turned on. So that gives you an idea, for example. Now, if you was to have that, use that money, for example, as part of your retirement, then if you do come across a shortfall, then you're not going to be affected. It's not going to put you into a difficult situation, for example. But if you even was to stretch it over a 20-year period, it really depends what age you are, really. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about a full breakdown here for freedom from metals. So if you want to live entirely on gold and silver stack, so let's reverse engineer this. So 5,000 a month, it depends how much money you have got to spend on these things, for example, on these metals. Over a 10-year period, that would give you £600,000, for example, or dollars, $600,000. To build that in 10 years, you need to invest around $5,000 a month. And I know not everyone has that, okay? But if you do, then that's something where you can put that money to good use, because I know that there are people out there that spend $5,000 a month on handbags, designer clothes, shoes, holidays, going out for meals every day, for example. So, but here's the good news. If metal prices double, as they often do, especially in a crisis cycle, you might only need about $2,500 a month. So if you don't have 5,000 a month, then do the 2,500 a month if you have it. If not, then you go back to what I was saying when we first started this video, for example. So this is why consistency is key. You've got to be in it for the long game. The earlier you start, the more you will benefit. There's a lot of people that started from when they were young. You know, once they became 20 or even 18, they started putting an amount away each month, for example. The earlier you start, the more you will benefit from this. So if you're using gold and silver, for example, to supplement your pension, and you could use that to supplement your business income, for example, because even if you're in business or even if you're working for someone, you still need to be putting something to the side in this way to help supplement pension or business or a mortgage, or even putting it on a house or a child's college fund, for example, or a gift, for example. So just think, if your pension covers the basics, like your metal stacks become your lifestyle fund, for example, there's nothing better than being able to see that. That is a great reward by seeing that, or even a legacy for your children. If metal prices explode, you'll build a powerful backup system, and it also gives you flexibility as well, and you also have the freedom and peace of mind to do whatever you want to do, holidays, even travel around for a year, for example, to treat yourself. So what I'd like to know is, are you thinking of saving for a pension, for example, or for a 10-year plan? Because this is something that needs to be, at least 5, 10, 15-year plan, or even more if you can, because this is the type of thing that really stands the test of time. What I want to say to you is to create a 10-year plan for gold and silver for your retirement. What is your monthly goal going to be? What is your target portfolio value? Conservative, moderate, bullish? What is your estimated monthly income from your stack, for example, your silver stack and gold stack? And what is your monthly stacking tracker? Do you have a tracker? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But it is something that you need to look at if you are going to really take this seriously. And what is your monthly purchasing amounts? Ounces of gold and silver. What is the current value? What is your legacy planner for your family, for your children? You want to think about this so that you've got this right from the start. So a good thing would be is if you could create some sort of a calculator, a spreadsheet of your gold that you're purchasing each month. Just get a piece of paper. I'm going to show you. I may give you one as a gift, actually, as a free gift, because this is what I offer in my mini masterclass. It's important to do this so that you can actually see what you're saving and how much it is, because at the end of the day you want to be able to measure what it is that you're doing so that you can see the benefits of what you're building up, for example. So think about your gold and silver retirement planning. You can use a Word document if you want to, but I would use a book, and even write it in a journal. Your gold and silver, what your, how much have you purchased each month, for example. What are the weights? What are the ounces? What did you buy it for? And what is the current prices now, for example. I think that would be a really good thing for you to do for planning your retirement. And I'm sure that you all would agree as well. I do have a link here if you are interested in purchasing gold and silver. There is a link here. It is with JM Bullion. They are a reputable firm. They've been going for a long time. I am an affiliate, so if you want to click the link, I will get a small percentage, for example, if you do purchase, but you can have a look or even go to your local dealer, for example, but also be mindful of who you're going to and to make sure that you're getting the real thing, for example, because you don't want to get silver and it turns out it's actually got some copper in there or something. So you've got to be mindful of that. Okay, so there is an affiliate link here for you to click the link as well. And what I also want to say to you is try and create a stacking calculator spreadsheet. That is something which is really beneficial for you, so that you know how far you're going with your stacking system. So you want to create a beautiful silver retirement stacking plan, which is a 10-year plan, which I call my 10-year blueprint. And this is truly amazing because it is a 10-year silver retirement planner. And by looking at how much it is that you can afford to save and buy the gold or silver, for example, ounce, just 1 ounce at a time. You don't have to buy like stacks and stacks of things, just 1 ounce at a time. Take it step by step. Like people say, 1 day at a time. Well, this is 1 stack at a time. So what is your stacking goal? Think about how much are you going to invest? What is your target that you're going to do? So you need to write down your goal of what you're going to spend each month. You have to be consistent as well. I would recommend that it depends really what age you are and how much you're spending each month, and write down what you've got available to spend each month and then start off that way, for example. But it depends on what age you are as well. Okay, so write down what you start with, like I would say $635 a month, for example. So consistency, like I said, is key. Monthly average your price over time, because the growth scenario for this, the 10-year stack value for this conservative is $76,000, for example. And it will give you over, use over 10 years, you using this over 10 years, it will give you 600 a month, for example. The moderate, in terms of the increase, because you brought things over 10 years, then there's going to be some increases going on there. So a moderate level would be that you get your stack value will be $123,000, for example, that you've made from purchasing. That then gives you $1,025 a month. Then your third one is if it is bullish and it's gone, the price has surged, like our gold is currently seems to be doing, surging, then that's $225,000. That then gives you a pension, monthly pension of $1,875 a month. So remember that the bull markets in metal can happen every 7 to 12 years. So you've got to stay the course. So create your tracker, write down the ounces that you purchase each month. How much gold ounces did you buy? How much silver ounces did you buy for month 1? And you do the same for month 2, month 3, and you just keep doing that for 12 months, and you do it for 10 years or more. Think about if you're doing a legacy, you could write a plan. My family legacy plan. Who will it benefit? Who will benefit from your stack? How will you pass it on? Write down your stacking motivations and your milestones, or your price targets, for example. So track your purchases in your planner, and if you can put this in a calculator tracking sheet, then that's even more brilliant, for example. And I would love to be able to share more information with you through our beautiful PDF planner, and I will put this here after the video, once the video is rendered and I've finished uploading the different languages, for example, then I will put that in here. But the calculator sheet, spreadsheet, is very good, and this is what I really would love for you to really focus on, is building your plan, your retirement plan for your own retirement. Because at the end of the day, it's very hard to say, yeah, we're going to rely on our pension, but do you know what your pension is going to be? Do you know what it's going to be? Do you know how much it is going to be, for example? Because that is the key. Once you know that, then that will give you a good idea of whether you're going to have a shortfall or not, for example. So just think about what I've mentioned to you today. I'm going to put the spreadsheet here once I've finished rendering the video, for example, and I'd like for you to, as a free gift, it's a free guide, it's a free download that you'll be able to have access to my PDF planner, for example, and my stacker calculator spreadsheet. And this is my gift to you. So what I'd love for you to do, if you've enjoyed this video today, I would love for you to subscribe so that you get further notifications of any updates, for example. Also, if you enjoyed the video, I would love for you to like the video as well. And also, if you know someone that would be possibly interested in this, then share it with anyone that you know, for example, because it is something that we all think about, isn't it? You know, what is, not everybody, but you know, in terms of savings, it's a good way of building wealth, because whatever age you are, you've got to start thinking about these things, because at the end of the day, it's always good to have gold and silver as a backup for you and for your family members as well. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I've appreciated your comments, I've appreciated your likes, and I've appreciated you subscribing to the channel. Stay tuned, because I will have more on retirement planning, wealth building, semi-retirement, whatever age you are, 40, 50, 60 and above. This is something that, whatever age you are, even if you're in your 20s, it is still a good thing to have gold and silver. So I hope that you've enjoyed today, and I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow. I will be going live tomorrow as well. And do check out my guides here, my downloads. I'm going to be downloading them after this video, so do stay tuned for that and download them. If you also want to join our masterclasses that we have, then do book a free 15-minute appointment with myself, and I will talk to you about what your legacy plan is for your retirement, for example, or for the next 10-20 years, for example. What is the plan? Why are you saving? Why do you want to save gold and silver? Who is it for? Who is it going to benefit, for example? So thank you so much for joining me, and have a wonderful evening, and stay tuned, because I will be going live tomorrow. So like I said, hit the notification bell so that when I go live you get updates, and you'll be able to know when I've gone live as well. So have a wonderful day, everyone, and I look forward to speaking with you all very soon. Take care. God bless. Thank you. Bye.